Day of hurricane season, we're trying to remind everybody that you should be prepared, do the repairing later. You do want to pack an emergency kit, all the things that we need to know. We've talked about for so many years. Bill Dorson is joining us now. He's the Federal Coordinating Officer with FEMA. And first of all, you're telling people the one thing they should know, because it's going to happen one day, is the proper evacuation route.
Right. So the state has done a good job of doing evacuation routes and has some maps out there. But they do a phased evacuation. So knowing those routes, knowing when to leave, listening to your local officials is extremely important.
And you can get this information on your city's website or your parish website or the state's website.
Correct.
And all that's there. And you do want to make sure that you have an overnight bag ready for lodging. And it sounds trite, but you know, if you're trying to rush out, it's good to have a lot of things packed already.
Right, and as Aaron Miller mentioned from the city, I work with him fairly often, to have a kit ready to go with things you need, including your pets. Don't forget about your pets and those things, so that when you leave, your medications, that you've got the things that you need to be able to sustain for at least 72 hours or better.
And you know, and we tell people this every year, to have an evacuation kit ready to go, an emergency kit ready, you know, flashlights, things like that, food, water, etc. How many people actually do that? Do we know?
Probably don't, but in most cases, I know I'm from Louisiana, and I've always had a kit ready to go because I had kids and dogs and pets and things like that. So it's very important to have that available.
And you guys have a preparedness form that you tell people it's a good idea to fill out. And a lot of times the people who need that the most sometimes forget to fill out that plan.
Right. So just sitting down and talking with your family, communications plan, knowing where everybody is, what they're going to do, where they're going to go. And sometimes you're going to see that cell towers may be down, so have alternate communications plans, rally points, those sort of things.
And we found out in Katrina and other storms just how vulnerable sections of the population are, the infirmed, the impoverished, things like that, where you don't have a way out. You do depend on the parish or the state.
Right. So the parish and the state has a very good plan for getting those out who don't have a ride.
But you need to register for those, don't you?
Correct. And going online with that, and again, going to with the parish is where you register. And
now you're working on the flood zone over in Baton Rouge, where the flooding was last year. One thing that you are telling people is, if you flood once and didn't have flood insurance and the government helps you, if you flood again but don't have flood insurance, you could be in trouble.
Correct. Usually don't pay twice unless you've done the due diligence to have insurance on your home.
And the federal flood insurance, and we found that out in so many storms, that people who thought they did not need flood insurance realize they do. So your best advice to them is get it.
Yeah, get flood insurance. As a colleague of mine at the governor's office says, you've got it on your driver's license if you need flood insurance. He said the code is LA, so it'll tell you get flood insurance.
All right, and they want to show the form. This is the form that you can fill out. And what exactly is on this family communication plan?
Basically, what's your out-of-town contact, and making sure that you have information about schools,
prescriptions,
work information, that your prescriptions, you know what they are, you know what your prescription numbers are, writing those down so that you can get those filled when you're away, if you forgot your bottle, that sort of thing.
All right, and the most important thing to remember during hurricane season is at least have flashlights and things ready in case the worst happens. And if you know a storm is coming, make sure your car is full of gas.
Right, and then ready.gov on the federal site has all of this information, so if somebody does want to go to that website, as well as the governor's office has one called Get a Game Plan. Both have similar information on preparing.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And again, you know, you can't remind people enough about this stuff.
Right.
We do it every year, and there's a reason we do it. Again, we have the links to their website on our website. Just go to WWLTV.com and click on links. You'll find copies of all the forms that we use today. Right now, 7:20.